In this video, we'll talk about what is latent heat. Latent heat is the amount of energy required for you to convert liquid into vapor. For example, we can sketch the water boiling process on those two diagrams. In the beginning, we have point F, which is saturated liquid, which means the beginning of the boiling process. And in the end, all the liquid will be gone, will be turned into vapor. That's called saturated vapor. So F is the beginning of the boiling, and G is the end of the boiling, when no liquid is left. So this change of phase from point F to point G is sketched as a straight line on a P versus nu diagram. Same thing happens on our T versus nu diagram. Point F is the beginning of the boiling. Point G is the end of the boiling. And this process again is a straight line on our second T versus nu diagram. Okay, let's take a look. Point F is the start of the boiling. Point G is the end of the boiling. Now if we take a look at the first diagram, first of all, it's going to be a straight line. If it is a straight line, that means the y coordinate is constant. So during this process, pressure is constant. And the second thing we notice is on the first diagram, F to G is along this constant temperature line. Therefore, F to G is also a constant temperature process. We can double check this process on our second diagram. On our second diagram, F to G again is a straight line, which indicates the y coordinate temperature is constant. And again, F to G is on our constant pressure line. So F to G, in addition, is also a constant pressure process. So when you boil water, when you turn water from saturated liquid, point F, to saturated vapor, point G, this is a constant temperature and a constant pressure process. So during this process, F to G, while you keep adding heat to the water so that it will continue to boil, both temperature and pressure of the water remain the same, which is contradictory to what we usually experience in daily life. Usually when we add heat to an object, the temperature and pressure of this object will usually go up. However, during the phase change process from liquid to vapor, when you add energy into the water, temperature and pressure both remain constant. It's because the energy you added to the water is used to cause the phase change from liquid to vapor. That's why we call this heat latent, because during this process, pressure and temperature do not change. The equation for latent heat is H enthalpy of point G minus enthalpy of point F, and that's our latent heat. And it can be rewritten into H with a subscript of F and G.